Well, I'm live and here I am. I'm 80 years old and I'm retired. My life is supposed to be simpler, not much more complicated. But that's a story for another day. So we were talking about Donald and his inability to, what is it? He just can't help himself. It's just his inability to let things sort of go and progress without screwing around with it. And I don't know whether it's him or it's the fact that it's Hegseth or it's the fact that nobody's in control over there. On either side of these negotiations, I don't think there's a lot of disciplined thought going on there. I think this is just a huge joke that's going to get worse as time goes on. Uh, and Trump is threatening to annihilate a civilization. Now that's even Hitler didn't go around saying he was going to annihilate a specific civilization. This guy just doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut. He sounds more and more like a lunatic, a deranged. Well, he's a deranged scumbag, but he's beginning to sound deranged. Deranged. I mean, I stutter, I forget things and whatnot, but I'm not dumb enough to say some of the things that he says. And I really, my opinion of Trump doesn't count for anything. I don't have any scientific expertise in what I'm saying or doing. I just watch the man and say I don't know whether he's insane or he's just his ego is such to the point that, but I've often said this, I said this before he was elected and I'm saying it now. It's not him you have to worry about. It's the morons around him. And he somehow or another, he put Hegseth and J.D. Vance in positions of power, and that's just not a really good thing. And J.D.'s beginning to realize that his political future is going to get flushed soon, so I don't know what he's going to do about that. That should prove to be very, very interesting. I'm so good looking, I scare myself. Anyhow, he attacks this ship, or I don't know who gave the command, where the orders came from, and that's something we'll probably never know exactly, unless it turns into a real fiasco. Then Trump will blame somebody and we'll know that he was at fault to begin with. But they attacked an Iranian cargo ship and they seized it. Trump probably figured there's supposed to be some gold or something on that ship and he wants it, or money or somehow or another, and he wants it, so he took it. And nobody's going to see anything except him. Stupid. And all this stuff is going on. And what happens? Oil prices, they go back up. And so what happens? The billionaires become more billion. You know what I mean? It's this country is going to go into a depression. And the world will possibly follow. Not a recession, a depression. He's done so much damage to so many various stages of the economy. They no longer function as on the economic principles. You can't study economics and expect to look at our economy and say, this is what it looks like. No, that's not what it looks like. We're all screwed up. We're a bunch of people. We're not working together. We're a bunch of people fighting each other for money and survival, and it's going to get worse. He doesn't believe in climate change. Well, I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. How's that grab you? I think he lies so much and he believes everything he says, and that's the scary part about it. He's a pathological liar. I think pathological liars are the ones that believe everything they say is true. Therefore, their lies are very convincing at times, But Trump believes he's the best thing for this country. And it's not him. It's guys like Stephen Miller and Thiel and Musk and whatnot. They're the ones that are guiding this broken down ship now. We had a great country going. He wasn't going to make it any. What did he want to make it great? By what? Conquering the rest of the world? Jeez, every time somebody goes and tries to do that, we end up getting screwed. So I don't see that being the answer there either. It's you can't go about doing the things he's doing and not expect some sort of consequences. And the people that are supporting him are there's something wrong there too. I'm not talking about the billionaires. They're doing it for money. I'm talking about the average person that says Trump's the greatest thing since white bread. Hey, dude, I like rye bread, by the way. So, I mean, I have no idea how this is going to end. I don't think I'll see the end. Maybe I will. The way things are going, I could see the end. That big flash in the sky, and then everything blows, but disappears around you. Yeah, he's gonna press the wrong button one of these days, and we're all gonna be screwed. But he governs by his emotions, which aren't under not under any kind of control. He governs by whims and fancies and all kinds of stupid shit, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And I don't know what to tell you to do. I have no advice. I have no answers. I have no solutions. Um, it's the old saying: prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Scary, isn't it? That's not a way to live your lives, folks. Trust me. It gets real, real scary when you do stuff like that. Anyhow, moving on. Well, yes, Trump is also making. This is what I say when he says stupid things. I'm always worrying, and he says stupid things like, "No more Mr. Nice Guy." At what point in time was he ever a nice guy? Somebody point that out to me. Maybe when he was a baby sleeping, but I doubt it. He probably waited till somebody checked his diaper and then shit in their face. He's just such a low life, and he's got no class. And this is a man that was born into a privileged situation, and he has no class whatsoever. No finesse, no class, no nothing. He's just a scum of the earth, folks. I know I'm going on a tantrum this morning. I can't help it. He does stupid things. I go around and I say something that's uh, sarcastic or something, and I get my ass chewed out by people. He goes and says stupid things, and nobody does anything. And I don't know. I have no idea what the future is going to hold because I worry about the fact that there's people out there that aren't rich, that are just average Americans that support this prick. They did a survey about the young people. Then they said the young people wanted to see more deportations and more activity on affordability. Why the hell would you want everybody to leave the country? Are you going to mow your own grass? Are you going to wash dishes in a restaurant? Until they get robots in there to do it, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's why everybody's for AI. I bet you that's what it is. All these people that don't know what AI is actually capable of doing are supporting AI because they say, well, we don't have to worry about hiring dishwashers anymore. We just buy one of these machines or lease it or whatever the deal is, and I don't have to pay them sick days. I don't have to pay them if they get hurt, any of this stuff. And that's the direction everybody wants to go in. Well, AI has no emotions. Yeah, but it don't get sick. It has no emotions. It doesn't get angry. It doesn't get sad. It doesn't get happy. It looks at a problem and says, This looks like the solution." In our planet, the biggest problem on this planet, and most scientists will, every scientist I've ever talked to will agree, and I haven't talked to that many, I'll be honest with you, but science teachers, and they say the greatest threat to this planet is humanity because we're the only race that's so self-destructive. I mean, us and sharks are the only ones that hunt for sport. So there's got to be something wrong with us. And look, and I mean, for obviously, if you look at our leader right now in this country, there's some serious problems. And the problem, I think, the biggest problem this country has is that it allowed this stuff to fester for years and years without anybody saying anything about it, without anybody saying trying to correct the problem. You know, we try to we shove anti-segregation down their throats. We don't ask. We don't really listen to people. We just tell them this is the way it's going to be. You know, and young people don't want to hear that. I know I don't want to hear it, and I'm not young. I'm 80 years old. You know. Wow. Okay. What else is going on in the world? Earthquake off the coast of Japan. Tsunami war. But going back to the AI, Ukraine is starting to use machinery in its war rather than human beings. Why, they were asked? Because machines don't bleed. And there you have it, folks. What caused the destruction of the world? Human weakness and greed. On the brighter side, though, they're starting to LSD research again. You know, I told the story when I did the video that I posted that I have a friend of mine that went to the University of I think he was at the University of Susquehanna when this happened. I'm not sure, but anyhow, he was. The CIA was testing LSD. They weren't supposed to be doing it because this is before Kennedy and whatnot, and they decided to ban LSD, CIA operating in the United States. So anyhow, but the CIA was invested into this project where they were letting college students test LSD. LSD was sort of they were looking at it as a sort of truth serum, if I'm not, along with scalapine. I can't pronounce that. I tried yesterday. I can't do it. Or sodium pentothal. But the deal is that he was in an English class, a creative writing class, and they offered him to take LSD, and they put him in a padded room with a rubber pencil, and I don't know what kind of paper it was, if it was paper, and told him to, give him a half a tab or whatever it was of acid, and told him to, write something. Now, I don't know what he wrote. I do know that he was never quite the same. He was never sane to begin with. None of us were back then. But he was never quite up to reality. He started living in a dream world. It became very reclusive and very paranoid, you know, uh, which I did that happened to me with pot. That's why I stopped taking pot because I got paranoid. That's not a fun disease when you start looking over your shoulder all the time, you know. So anyhow, it does affect you, but I don't. That was just what they were, and that drug is still used today. LSD is still used by various in this country. You know, they take you to these black ops sites outside the country. That's where they're allowed to torture you and everything else. You know, because their country's rules don't say there. I think you did, but we are all immigrants in this country. We weren't born here. We committed genocide in order to begin this country. So, that's why we don't really go after the Jews or anybody. But we went after the Germans when they did it. I don't know. You know, I'm not happy with the world right now. I don't see any great leaders out there. You know, there's no Mandelas, there's no Martin Luther Kings out there. There's just nobody out there anymore. There's just Trumps and his little minions, you know. I don't hold up much hope for this planet, and I think that'll be the sentiment for the AI too. Oh well, that's it for me. Bored. Yes, sir. Britain too, huh? Okay. Uh, Thanks for showing up, Jim. Where you been anyhow? I didn't see you for a couple of days there. I didn't get any follows or anything. I didn't know what was going on. Glad to see you're back. Glad to see you're okay. I have my problems with the timing as usual, you know. You got to tell me what the time difference is so that I can try to figure something out more reasonable, you know. I'm not going to get up any earlier, but maybe I can go to bed a little later, you know, and do it at night. Anyhow, in the meantime, folks, that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Uh. All right. Everybody have a great day. I gotta go help my wife with the lunch prep and everything. And I will see you guys mañana. Take care, everybody. Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. Wish there were more of you, but I can't have everything I love. Take care.